Here's a question tonight. Would you climb down into a hole with a 500-pound moose?
Yeah, probably not. But that is exactly what a Maine state biologist did last week when he and several others rescued a young bull from a well, one that even the landowners didn't even know was there.
So it happened in the Washington County town of Pembroke, where, as News Center Maine's Griffin Stockford found out, the group used good old-fashioned Maine ingenuity to save the wayward moose.
And then I got a call from one of the other assistant wildlife biologists in the region, and saying that there was a moose down in a well, and so I wasn't really sure what that meant. I couldn't really picture what that could be, but I was like, that sounds interesting.
A hand-dug, stone-lined well, about 6 feet across and 8 feet deep, hidden by thick woods and brush.
My family recently bought 100 acres in Pembroke.
The property owners didn't even know the well was there, and clearly neither did this beast.
So the moose must have fallen in and basically was completely obscured by vegetation. So unless it was making noise, you wouldn't have known it was even there.
Delaney Gardner, whose family owns the 100-acre former farmstead, says her brother Cole, who operates a shed building business on the property, heard the commotion while working nearby.
Like even 5 feet away, when they were standing there trying to see this moose, they couldn't tell it was even in a hole just because it was so thick in there.
Dunham sedated the moose with a 6-foot syringe pole before climbing into the well to secure the animal's head as it slowly laid down.
It's not like the movies. When you drug an animal, it doesn't just fall down. It's, it's not like Jurassic Park or anything like that. Like, my biggest concern was just, I didn't know. I knew all the moose was standing up on the bottom, but it was like, is there a solid bottom? You climb into the water, you're like, am I going to just disappear with this moose?
About a dozen locals had gathered at that point, and the rescue quickly became a community effort.
And it was amazing to see the biologists and the game wardens and the community members all work together to come up with a game plan to get this moose out. It's not exactly something that, there's a handbook on. So just seeing all the problem-solving skills in action was incredible.
A young man took his shirt off so that we could cover the eyes of the moose and use it as a blindfold, and that helps keep light down and stimulus down so that they don't metabolize the drug faster, that sort of thing.
After the moose was lifted out with an excavator, the biologist injected a reversal agent. Soon, the beast was alert and back on his feet.
It ran off with a good stride, holding its, bearing weight on all its limbs. So besides some bruises and maybe a little bit of a hangover, it should be make a full recovery. Everyone, listened, and really everyone was just there to try to help, and so everyone was working together and willing to throw out ideas and help out and suggestions and the ladders and straps and all of that, and the piece of equipment, which again, when you're dealing with a 500-pound animal, like you need something more than just manpower. So that was essential to the whole thing, and it all went as well as it could have.
We've gotten a lot of, is the hole covered up? And yes, it is. But that's been the two sides that we've seen, like make sure that's covered up and thank you. So
the landowner said he's going to fill it in, which is a little bit of a shame, but at the same time, it definitely reeked like bull moose there. So I don't think I'd be drinking out of it anytime soon. So.
News Center Maine's Griffin Stockford with that incredible story. Now, bull moose hunting season began this week, and state wildlife officials have a special request for anyone with a moose hunting permit who does plan to take to the woods in eastern Maine.
So right now they're asking hunters in wildlife districts 19, 27, and 28, you see them circled there, to refrain from shooting any young bull moose in case it's the one that was rescued. And here's why. They say any meat harvested would not be safe to eat because of the drugs that could still be in its system. What a rescue.
Yeah.